Hello friends and all the students of biology. In this session I shall discuss kingdom Protista, that is the kingdom of unicellular eukaryotes. It is a very big kingdom in which all unicellular algae, as many as 4 earlier classes of algae, as well as protozoa have been included. So, I shall divide the entire chapter of Protista into two parts, one for the plant-like Protista and another for the animal-like Protista, that is protozoa. So at first let us define what is Protista. Haeckel at first used the term Protista to include all unicellular organisms. In fact, he also included some multicellular organisms with the cell-level organization. But later on, Copeland separated prokaryotic unicellular organisms in the kingdom Monera, and now kingdom Protista includes only the eukaryotic unicellular organisms. Being eukaryotes, the cells contain well-defined nucleus with well-organized chromosomes made of nucleic acid and histone. The chromosomes are enclosed within nuclear membrane, and therefore the protoplasm is divided into nucleoplasm and cytoplasm. That is, within nucleus there is nucleoplasm and out of nucleus there is cytoplasm. In the cytoplasm, cell organelles made of intracellular unit membranes are present along with cytoplasmic endoskeleton made of microtubules, microfilaments, and intermediate fibers. The intracellular unit membranes form endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, lysosome, mitochondria, plastid, as well as nuclear membrane. Whereas the microfilaments form the cytoendoskeleton as well as the spindle fibers and centrosomes. The cells mostly divide by binary fission or mitosis, but some organisms reproduce also sexually, and therefore they have meiosis division also. All the earlier described unicellular algae, the slime molds and protozoa are members of this kingdom. Some members of this kingdom are plant-like, whereas some others are animal-like. But a few, such as Euglena, shares characters of plants and animals both. Protista includes all protozoa and unicellular algae of almost every phylum, such as Rhodophyceae, that is red algae, Chrysophyta, golden algae, Xanthophyta, yellow-green algae, Bacillariophyta, diatoms, dinoflagellates, Phaeophyta, that is brown algae, and Chlorophyta, that is green algae. So, In the plant kingdom, division algae, only multicellular forms are left and all unicellular forms are included in the protista. Now let us discuss about the plant-like protista. The first group is called chrysophytes. Smith 1955 and Chapman 1962 included class Chrysophyceae, that of brown or orange algae, Xanthophyceae, yellow-green algae, Bacillariophyceae, that is diatoms, under this division Chrysophyta. So Chrysophyta is the combination of three classes: Chrysophyceae, Xanthophyceae, and Bacillariophyceae. Chrysophyceae is a large group, mostly found in freshwater. They have one or two flagella, and of two flagella, one of them is rudimentary. They may or may not have a cell wall. In addition to chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, the organisms of class Chrysophyceae contain phycochrysin pigments. Chrysophyceae have sexual as well as asexual reproduction. When it reproduces asexually, it goes through binary fission and creates a cyst or a statospore. Primnacium parvum causes fish kills. Class Xanthophyceae vary from single set flagellates to simple colonial and filamentous forms. In addition to chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, carotene, they contain xanthophyll as accessory pigment. Their storage product, that is a polysaccharide, is called chrysolaminarin. However, nature of accessory pigments in diatoms is not well defined. They contain fucoxanthin, and all of them store wild droplets and volutin or leucosin as reserve food. Due to the light weight of fat, they float on the surface of water. Diatoms are almost abundant and largest producer of aquatic system. Their cell walls contain embedded silica. The cell wall is made of two parts or cells, one larger and another smaller. The larger is called epitheca and smaller is called hypotheca. These are made in such a way that can fit into each other like a soap box. So because of the two parts of shell, this name diatom has been given. Normally they divide by longitudinal binary fission and one half contains old shell, whereas in the other half a new cell is formed under old cell, and therefore 50% of daughter cells become smaller than the mother cells. The process goes on and finally their size decreases very much. So after a number of generations, they reproduce sexually and regain the original large size. Now it is very interesting that after death of diatoms, their shell persists with the mud or sand grains. They look very beautifully arranged, and some of them have been shown here and arranged here artistically. These are different forms of various diatoms. Now see the photograph of some of the diatoms. These are arranged parallel to each other in a row. And it is the beautiful shells of the diatoms present in the sand bed. The shell of diatoms have characteristic design, and also sometimes these are colorful, so these are called jewels of sea. Due to their deposition at the bottom of sea, diatomous soil is formed. Each cubic centimeter of such soil contains as many as 5 million of diatom cells. So, it is a major constituent of diatomaceous soil in the seabed. Such soil is very useful. It is used in making toothpaste, polishes, heat-proof bricks for furnaces, and dynamites. Mixing of 1 of 3% diatomaceous soil in the cement makes it more effective and stronger. These are also used in making earthen pots. Now the second class is dinoflagellates. These are also known as pyrophytes or the whirling flagellates. They also have two parts of the shell, but in between them there is a transverse furrow. A pair of flagella originate from this furrow. Noctiluca, Dynamybidium, Gymnodinum, and have no hard shell, so these are unarmored. But most others have hard shell, forming Theca or Lorica. Their cell walls are made of two halves, each having finely arranged cellulose plates. In between the two halves, there is a complete or incomplete groove around the cell, and two flagella appear from this groove. It is interesting that one flagellum directs forward or backward, but other is essentially transverse flagellum. Therefore, their beating is transverse to each other, and it causes whirling around an axis when it swims in water. Dinoflagellates have a large nucleus, but the chromatin is present in condensed state. DNA is not associated with histone protein, and therefore Dodge has regarded dinoflagellate nucleus as mesokaryon. The chromatophores lie in periphery of the protoplasm. These are rod-shaped, disc-like, irregular band-shaped structures bearing chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C, alpha-carotene, and some other accessory pigments derived of xanthophylls. They are too golden brown in color, and the food stored in them are starch and oil droplets. The dinoflagellates are second largest producer in the sea. First one was diatom and second one is dinoflagellate. These are the two largest producers in the ocean. They form red bloom on the seashore and spread over many kilometers. Some of them also show bioluminescence such as Noctiluca, Peridinum, Goniolax, etc. Goniolox catenella produces saxitoxin. The shellfishes take them full stomach, and when a person takes such cells, he may get paralytic attack. So it is one of the most toxic form of the plant kingdom. Or if there is an old question, it may be asked that which of the following is a poisonous algae, then you have to name Goniolox catenella. Now see some of the structures of the dinoflagellates. These are various dinoflagellates found in freshwater as well as sea. The first one is Gymnodium, second one is Serratium, and third one is Noctiluca. All these specimens have bioluminescence. Now see the diagrammatic structure. The flagella is posteriorly placed here. A second flagellum, that was called transverse flagellum, lies here. So there are two flagella in this case. Now the third class of plant-like protista is euglenoids. The division Euglenophyta includes about 36 genera and 800 species, but genus Euglena itself contains 152 species. Most of these species are found in freshwater ponds and lakes. A few have been reported to live in mud also. Euglena, Peranima, Euglenomorpha, Distigma, and Phacus, etc. are important genera. They have a proteinaceous pellicle instead of the cell wall, that is an animal-like character. Under the pellicle, oblique rows of contractile protein fibers are present. These fibers can contract and relax, causes contractility in the body and a slow euglenoid movement. Inside the cell, there are chloroplasts, which is a plant-like character. Euglena has a permanent cytopharynx-like structure, inside which a longer and a shorter flagella are present. The two flagella probably join together. At their junction, there is a dense structure called paraflagellar body. It reflects the light over photoreceptor or stigma present in opposite side. So it has light sensitive organ, often known as eye. This is the photograph of Euglena. Another photograph of Euglena with some better resolution. The eye spots are seen. The two flagella are there, but these are very lightly seen in this photograph. Therefore, you can see this artistic diagram. At the basal part of this cytopharynx or cytostome, two basal granules are there, and a short and long flagella arise from here. However, within the cytostome, the two join together and only one long flagella come out of cytostome. It has an eye spot here, a large nucleus, and many chloroplasts. The oblique rows present in the entire surface are the contractile protein fibers. It is another level diagram. You can see a long flagella, a stigma or eye spot, nucleus, and many chloroplasts in the cell. Most people believe that Euglena can feed upon smaller organisms by filtering them using centripetal force by rotation of flagella. But others do not believe it. They have chloroplast, they can photosynthesize. It is said that if Euglena is kept in dark, it can feed upon bacteria, but I have no electron micrograph showing food vacuole inside Euglena. Thus, it is believed that it has both autotrophic and holozoic nutrition, that is plant-like and animal-like nutrition. Therefore, it is called mixotrophic nutrition. Paranema has holozoic nutrition, whereas Rhabdomonas has saprotrophic or saprobiotic nutrition. The food is stored in the form of paramylum granules, which are different from a starch or a myelin. They have beta-1,3 glucan bonds. Euglenoids reproduce only asexually, though Pamela stage is seen in many cases. It is just pairing of the two cells with a slime cover, but there is no conjugation. They separate very soon. In this way, you have learnt about the three major classes of plant-like protista, seen some photographs of their examples, and you have also seen how Euglena shares plant-like characteristics